Hello everyone, my name is Nu Phi. I am the Disability Studies Student Ambassador and am currently a fourth-year undergraduate at UCLA, majoring in molecular biology and minoring in disability studies. I will be helping provide the audio descriptions that you will experience in this video. The following video is a 6-minute short film that features 7 UCLA professors from the new UCLA Interdepartmental Degree Program for Disability Studies. The faculty introduce their interests and experiences in disability studies and discuss the importance of the new disability studies major at UCLA. In order of appearance, we will hear from Victoria Marks, the Chair of Disability Studies, Raymond Knapp, UCLA Professor of Musicology and Humanities, Helen Deutsch, UCLA Professor of English, Lauren Clark, UCLA Professor and Shapiro Family Endowed Chair in Developmental Disability Studies, Juliann Anesi, UCLA Assistant Professor in the Department of Gender Studies, Lauren Lee McCarthy, UCLA Associate Professor in the Department of Design Media Arts, Salih Aciksoz, UCLA Associate Professor in the Department of Anthropology. Interspersed are scenes of each faculty member's contributions and involvements in the field of disability studies, such as scenes of dancers moving, of performers singing and signing in ASL, and of different digital art installations. For a link to more detailed image descriptions of the scenes in this video, please check the description below. Intro text reads UCLA Undergraduate Education Disability Studies. Intro scene shows a series of clips where dancers are practicing and performing various dance movements in an open studio. The next scene shows various UCLA faculty smiling.
I'm a choreographer, and I'm really here at UCLA because of my work as a choreographer. I started out making dances for dancers and had the opportunity to work with Canduco Dance Company that had disabled and non-disabled dancers in it. And it was my first exposure to thinking about dancers with disabilities. And it was a threshold change for me.
For me, disability studies is the addition of a really important perspective on something that I've studied pretty much all my life, which is music and how it matters to people, how it matters to performers, how it matters to audiences. Disability studies as a starting point makes you think about those questions differently. And in the end, I think you end up with a much more textured idea of how music matters. I see in disability studies as something that enhances what I do, but also in an interesting way makes what I do more human-oriented.
And the more I've worked in the field, the more I've also come to think about disability studies as a field that embraces all forms of difference and sees them not as pathologies or disorders or disruptions, but as profound sources of renewal, creativity, connection, basically the very nature of what it means to be human.
From my perspective as a nurse, disability studies is a needed antidote to what we've always thought within the medical and health sciences sphere, that disability is a deficit, or it's a problem to be solved, or a condition needing a cure. So disability studies brings to the fore the lived experience, the arts, the humanities, and really the participation of people with disabilities in the scholarship of disability justice. So it's a very important and necessary part of health science education.
I think disability is always often that conversation that it only matters to disabled people, but I think what I want to just highlight is that disability oftentimes encompasses everyone in our communities, but also in our society, and that it's worth the relations to build with those within these communities.
I think there's a lot of potential for new points of connection with the disability studies, for fields that might not have previously connected, or for individuals whose research doesn't have a direct tie, but there may be a lot of exchange that could happen that could deepen both the research that is happening in other fields or another faculty member and disability studies. I'm excited about that potential to explore those connections and kind of ask, like, what happens if we consider a lot of things we hadn't before in the context of disability studies? How can that frame open up new questions and new lines of research?
This is a very exciting place to critically think about disability. At UCLA, we hail from different disciplines, including medicine, arts and performance, social sciences and humanities, and beyond. And we offer a unique curriculum in a unique city. Los Angeles, on the one hand, is a city that is afflicted by different disabling forces, including mass incarceration, racism, poverty, homelessness, criminalization of immigration, etc. But it's also a city that is at the heart of global culture industry, which plays a major role in the production and dissemination of representations of disability throughout the world.
The humanities has been really important in doing critical disability studies, but they can never do it alone. So we're always connecting with people in history, people in law, people in architecture, people in, of course, medical history, history of science. All those kinds of connections are essential. They're organic to my work in a way that I would say would not have been the case if I weren't doing disability studies.
I've always had an interest in the relationship between making art and the ways in which scholars or others theorize what it is that we're doing as we live within history. So I think that the opportunity to learn more about disability studies as a field, as a scholarly interest, and also to ask for myself that it includes creation and includes activism, is a way of bringing together and holding together the ways in which ideas are at work in all the things that we're doing. And so disability studies scholarship allows me to read, understand, and apply to what I'm doing and also what I'm attending to around me.
Disability studies has reinforced for me the idea of how necessary it is to work with the people you're trying to serve and you're trying to design for. My hope with disability studies is that it's bringing together people from all these different disciplines where we can really get the people in the room that can come up with other possibilities and advocate for them and start to maybe rework the ways that the institution works from the inside.
One of the biggest changes I would like to see in disability studies is that the field gains the recognition that it deserves, because it's a field that once you start to do the work, you understand how central that it is.